More leaks of Android ice cream sandwich begin to hit the scene. Motorola and Verizon team up for an October 18th event for a new Droid. And leaks now show us what the Galaxy S3 will look like. All this and more coming up right now. Hello everyone, I'm Jaime Rivera with Pocketnow.com and welcome to Android Revolution, the show where we talk about what's hot and what's not inside the world of Google's Android project. Let's start this week off with what's hot. With so many Android smartphone release events every week, we're kind of in need of a segment that only talks about them. So let's start with the fact that Motorola and Verizon are teaming up for an event on October 18th, and all we got is that Daft Punk rhyme song. Well, I'm not sure it rhymes, but first of all it says faster, thinner, smarter, stronger. Anyways, well, could this be the Droid RAZR that everybody's talking about? Hopefully it is, but hit us up on October 18th and we'll let you know if it is or not. And we also know that Samsung and Google had to postpone their October 11th event because of their mourning for Steve Jobs' recent passing. We call it a really bold move from Google to hold that off because obviously we all know it's going to be really great news, hopefully with the ice cream sandwich being released and also the Nexus Prime or Galaxy Nexus or whatever they want to call it. So far, rumors have it that it'll probably be released on October 27th in London, so we'll keep you posted. Alright, and speaking of ice cream sandwich, lots of leaks are around of what we should expect on probably October 27th. First of all, we have leaks of how the Google Music application will look, really nice, and also how the Google Plus application will most probably look, so hopefully that'll be the case, but we also even have images of what we probably could expect for the Google Nexus Prime to look like, and also most probably the boot animation that we could expect from that. And hey, we even have a full gallery of screenshots of what ice cream sandwich will look like, hopefully, so make sure you hit the link in the description to look around and see if you like it or not. So far it looks really cool, and well, rumors have it that the Google Nexus Prime or Galaxy Nexus will be the first smartphone in the market to be sporting a 720p HD display, so a lot of really cool things are coming. Cross your fingers, hopefully October 27th. Out of the smartphone releases for the week, HTC's October 6th event, as we predicted, was all about Beats audio, so we got the HTC Sensation XL, which is pretty much the HTC Runnymede that we leaked recently, and well, it'll be coming to Europe and hopefully it'll come to our shores eventually. It has this massive 4.7-inch display and Beats audio just as I mentioned, so hit our website for full details on specs and even some more videos about it. And well, Verizon has just officially unveiled their Samsung Stratosphere, which is their first QWERTY LTE smartphone. A great specs device, and also it'll cost you $150 after a $50 rebate. And also, T-Mobile has also announced their MyTouch and MyTouch Q smartphones, and while this time they'll be powered by LG. So far they are mid-range specs, not really something compelling, but so far it looks really good, so hit us up and look at the specs, see if you're interested or not. Some really hot leaks going on in Android this week. First of all, we have the leaked roadmap of what to expect for the Samsung Galaxy S3. It's rocking a 1.8 GHz dual-core processor, 2 GB of RAM, 4.6 HD display, that means 720p, and even a 12-megapixel camera. You bet that's going to be hot. And well, Sprint's Motorola Admiral just stopped by the Blurry Cam office for a picture, and well, it looks like it'll bring some sort of a hookup between the BlackBerry keyboard and Android. Call this the Pro Plus from Motorola, coming to our shores eventually for Sprint. And well, a weird name PI39200 HTC device just hit the FCC, and it has everything to do with AT&T in bands at least. Not sure what to expect just there, but a lot of really good specs are coming, so hopefully it'll bring some Beats audio and probably some AT&T HTC Runnymede love eventually, hopefully. And hey, other weird leaks have Android sporting BlackBerry Messenger's application. And while this is nothing new, in the past we also had Windows Mobile rocking BlackBerry Connect, which brought you some sort of really different services. You know, the RIM is not only after selling smartphones, they're also after selling software, so that would be interesting, though we're not really sure if you'll be willing to pay, you know, your data plan and also some BlackBerry services for Android. Not sure, but at least that would be better than carrying an Android smartphone and a BlackBerry for work. Good point. That does it for what's hot. Let's continue on with what's not. We recently got a hold of some Android stats, and well, guess what? It had to do with how many devices are currently rocking gingerbread and how many are still stuck in Froyo or even Eclair. That's right, Eclair on this decade. It seems to be a really bad and terrible result to see that gingerbread is barely being adopted by half the install base, because it seems that manufacturers and carriers are actually not caring. And the problem seems to be that open source doesn't prove to be a really good idea. I'd say nay, but it seems that, well, iOS and Windows Phone 7 are doing a really good job in porting the recent version of iOS to most of their install base, or at least the current devices that are out there. And well, you ask yourself the question, is it really making sense for open source to be out there if carriers and manufacturers are the only ones that are being benefited? A lot of people are still stuck on Froyo and they really can't do anything about it. We're not even covering how many people are getting gingerbread recently because it makes no sense. Ice cream sandwich is just around the corner and devices are barely getting gingerbread. Does it even make sense to buy an Android device from a carrier if the only way you're going to get the hottest smartphone OS from Android is buying Google's Nexus devices? Really lame. That's it for today's show. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Jaime Rivera. Remember to give us a thumbs up if you like what you saw. That's it for now.